This is a tutorial on how to create an interval workout on this system. The first way would be to simply create what we call a text session. A text session enables you to write pretty much any text inside of your member's calendar. The second way, which is a bit more complex but which would also be a lot clearer for the member, is to go through the animated session interface. Let's go ahead and create a cardio session. Let's stick to 4 weeks as the cycle duration. Now let's add a cardiovascular exercise. So if I go and select biking, for example. Now, once my cardiovascular exercise has been added, I'm going to use the first icon in the list of icons right here. If I click on this icon, what used to be a standard weights exercise has now been converted into an interval workout. If I click anywhere inside of this graph, or on the edit icon right here, there's a panel that's going to open on the right hand side. This panel is going to enable me to build my interval workout right here. So first of all, at the top of the screen, I'm going to decide what effort scale I want to use. I can enter percentage if I want. I can go with a Borg scale from 0 to 10 if I want. I can really use anything I want here. What's important to understand is that this is a text-only field. The only thing it impacts is the name of the y-axis on my graph right here. So let's stick to the Borg scale from 0 to 10. Now, if I had a custom scale, if I wanted to go from 6 to 20 or from 1 to 100, I would need to change the minimum value and maximum value of my graph. Once again, the only thing I'm changing here is the y-axis of my graph. So I'm not actually creating a workout. I'm really just telling the system what my minimal and maximum values are going to be on my graph. Now, the next step is to create the actual workout. The way this works is through phases. So by default, I have one phase created. Let's call this phase warm-up. So I'm going to type in warm-up. Now I can give it a name, or you can just leave it blank if you want. It doesn't matter. Now, what is that phase consisting of? Well, let's give our member a 10-minute warm-up at effort 2 out of 10. This is for week 1. If I want to repeat the same thing for all of my weeks, I'm going to use the same usual icon, which enables me to copy everything down here. Now, if we have a look at our graph, we can see that our graph is now starting to take shape. So now we have a 10-minute duration at an effort of 2 out of 10. If I go and change my scale and make it on a scale of 100, you're going to see that now I'm only using 1/100th of the space on my graph. So that's why the effort scale right here is really important to set properly. So let's create a second phase now through the add phase button that I have here, which is going to be my effort phase. So say I want my client to do 3 minutes faster. I'm going to give my client 3 minutes here, and let's have him work at an effort zone of 9 out of 10. Now I can see on my graph that after those 10 minutes, my client has to do 3 minutes at a much faster pace. Once again, I'm going to repeat this to the other weeks. Now my next phase would be my recovery phase. So after those 3 hard minutes, I'm going to want my client to do another period of 3 minutes, but this time at effort 2 out of 10. Once again, I'm going to repeat this to all of the weeks. If we go back to the graph, same thing. We can now see an easier phase of 3 minutes. Now a really important feature. If we want to repeat these 2 phases, so say I want to do 3 repetitions of that 3-minute fast, 3-minute slow, I'm going to use that little padlock icon to link those 2 phases together, and then I'm going to tell the system how many times I want to repeat those 2 phases. So depending on the amount of repetitions that I enter here, this is going to have an impact on my graph for week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4.